And I thought switching majors was the hard part.
Tell me how you like it, yeah.
What's up guys, so last time I told you I explained the process of me switching majors. So here we go. When I was switching from interactive development to undeclared art and design, I totally looked at the camera. When I was switching from interactive development to undeclared art and design, I had to sign a form, give it to my current advisor, and then send it to my new advisor, or they would send it to my new advisor, be more specific. And then I'd be all good. But that didn't happen. So the first thing that sucked about me switching was my first advisor was really awesome. She was super nice and super friendly. She was also really into Twilight. I've watched all those movies.
Judge me as you will.
So as long as I brought those up, we were good. I give her the paper. She says I will sign it and I'll send it over. I'm like, all right, cool. So a little time goes by and it's time to start, picking your classes for next year. I like to do that ahead of time. That way I have a super sweet schedule. I get on, I go to pick my classes, and it says I'm still in my old major. So I'm like, all right, maybe this didn't process yet. It takes like a day or two or something. So I hit up my new advisor and I'm like, hey, I'm still in my old major. And she's like, yeah, we never got the forms. And I was like, okay, so let me check that out. So I hit up my old advisor. I'm like, hey, did you send the forms over? I'm trying to, pick new classes, and I'm still in the old one. She's like, yeah, I sent those over, like the day you gave them to me. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, I was just checking up, seeing how things were. So she didn't have them, and my new advisor, who's also a woman, she didn't have them either. And I was just like, well, where are my papers at? So I guess there was like a middleman, probably like the registrar's office, which I don't really know what they do, but I assume that they hold like the records for everything based on my short experiences with them. It took time for them to process it and then I guess send it over, so I had to wait a little while, but everything worked out in like a week, so that problem was solved. Next was switching from undeclared art and design over to individualized studies, or multidisciplinary studies as it was called at the time. This was the worst. With my new advisor, you talk things over, everything's cool. She's like, hey, you gotta write this paper saying why we should let you in. Because she's going to be my spokesperson. She's gonna go to this like council, and then she'll be like, this is why we should let him in, X, Y, and Z. And they'll be like, yay or nay. And then that's how I would get in. So I'm like, that's really weird. This place is already in the basement, and you kind of like hooked up my major like we were cheating. So I was like, alright, like do what you gotta do. When that happened, it was about March of 2014. So March goes by, I don't hear anything. April, I'm like, hey, have they said anything? She's like, no, not really. May happens, and she's like, hey, they didn't like the letter you wrote. They said it was too like everywhere. I made it like really personal. So I figured that's what they wanted. They were like, no, we want more academic stuff. So she's like, rewrite it, send it back to me, and we'll try again. So I did. I sat down. I made it super focused and to the point, and I gave it back to her. Okay, now at this point, I still haven't heard anything. It's the summertime. I'm like, all right, I guess I can wait for classes. Since I can do whatever I want, I don't really need to take specific classes. Also, my major is basically made up of electives, so they'll probably be open no matter what I need. June goes by. I message her again. Haven't heard anything. I'm like, okay. July goes by, she's on vacation. I'm like, okay. Then it's August, and school starts in August. So I'm like, hey, like, where are you? I need to know if I'm in or not so I can pick the classes, blah, blah, blah. I get no response from her. I'm like, oh, is this woman dead or something? Like, no response. School's coming closer and closer and closer. And then we get an email from my new advisor that I have right now. And she's like, yeah, at least spend it in the moment he rewrote that letter and sent it back to us. And I'm just like, what the, like, why isn't it? And then she's like, oh yeah, the lady you were talking to actually doesn't work here anymore. So I'm like, I'm talking to like a ghost? Not really. She's not dead. So I'm talking to a ghost. I need to pick all these classes, get ready for next year. And I'm here stressing out. But I've been in the whole time. And she's like, basically. I'm like, what the? So yeah, I got in. I've been going from there, and current advisor's good, and so I'm not switching again. I can just pick the classes I want since I'm already there, I'm on time, and I'm graduating this year, so I'm done with picking classes. Well, after spring semester, I'll be done with picking classes, but whatever. So yeah, that's been my process with switching majors. It sucks here, or at least from my perspective. I don't want to talk about anyone else here, but at least for me, it was so stressful, and I'm just like, come on, just let me get in there, alright, you know? But life doesn't work that way. If you ever had problems switching majors, let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. And until next time, peace!
In my